Well, hello, hello. We are live on Instagram. Well, we're live on YouTube and Facebook, going live on Instagram in just a moment. Happy Wednesday. Happy Thursday Eve, everybody. I'm so excited for you to join us. Hop in, join in. This is going to be a fun live. I'm really excited to chat with you guys. Hold on, just getting things set up. Okay, we're getting live on the Instagram. The things are jiggering, the beeps are booping, and it's happening. Okay, so live on Instagram, YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday. So happy to have you all here with me. I'm just going to back up so I'm in both cameras. We are in a new studio, so really excited to be here broadcasting live with you guys on our monthly Inspired Insights Live. So this month, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is the fear of change. And we're not too far away from the holidays, and everyone hopefully knows that movie, Home Alone. It's one of my favorites. And in that movie, there's this pivotal moment where Kevin yells, "I'm not afraid anymore." Because as you know, he, in the beginning of the movie, is really afraid of his basement. He is so scared of the heater in his basement, and it's terrifying because not only is it unknown, it's just scary for a little kid. And I think that this is just a great analogy for life, right? Because there are so many things that are the unknown and that we're afraid of. Maybe we don't even realize that we're afraid of them or why we're afraid of it or whatever the case is. But we do have fears, and every single one of us has fears, and it's normal. And fears are also a survival instinct of ours. They help keep us alive. Some fears are healthy and natural, but a lot of fears are also things that we've developed from little on, or maybe we don't even know how to pinpoint them. And it's important for, just like Kevin in Home Alone, it's important for us to be able to face our fears. And one of the biggest fears that I've recognized that we have is the fear of change. A lot of our inability or unwillingness to face our fears also stems from this inherent fear of change. For example, you want to make changes in your career, but you're not even getting yourself out there to send that resume out to someone because you're afraid, well, maybe things aren't as bad as where you are. Maybe I shouldn't even do that because of this and this and this. And you're talking yourself out of doing something for the fear that things may change. Yeah, things are going to change, but they can change for the better. They can change for the worse, but they can change for the better. And sometimes we sell ourselves on the story that we know the whole path and we know what's going to happen. So why even take that step? Well, we have to be able to take that step because just like in Home Alone, so I'm adjusting my collar, I realized it was lopsided. Just like in Home Alone, Kevin needed to face his fear of the heater to go downstairs to not only set his traps eventually, but to do laundry and do all those other things. If we allow ourselves to embrace that unknown fear, we can get to that next step and embrace the change and all the magic that comes out of it and the doors that open. And change is a necessary component for overcoming the fears that we have. And I know this feeling when you have something that you're super afraid of, or you don't even realize that it happens in a moment sometimes. Like a lot of the time we don't know our fears. And then we're confronted with a situation and you start feeling the panic rising. And you're like, oh God, what do I do? I want to run. And I mean, maybe this could be like a normal panic instinct where you should have to run. But a lot of it, I'm talking about like an everyday situation where you're realizing that you're confronted with something that is actually a fear of yours and you didn't realize. Maybe it's speaking in front of people. Maybe it's whatever it is that's coming up for you right now, because I know you're thinking of something where you've had that moment where you're confronted with a situation. Maybe it's even talking to someone that you don't know and you feel like you're going to want to talk to them and you want to go do that thing or have that conversation or reach out to that person or whatever it is. And you start feeling like the fear rising in you and you just feel that panic and you want to run away. Maybe examine where that's coming from in that moment. What's happening? Or are you afraid of rejection or fear of failure or whatever it is, it's a great moment to get curious. And the only way to rid yourself of this fear or of these emotions that are coming up for you is to confront them. And it's really just important for us to understand that. And I know I go through this often, on our lives, and we talk about it often, how important it is to take time to meditate, to reflect, and to really just get to know ourselves and what we have bubbling beneath the surface. Because a lot of the things that we have going on and a lot of the decisions that we make and the actions that we take are based on conditioned responses, and we don't even realize it. And we live in such a busy, busy world where you could stay distracted. You can go on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching me from, and you can spend hours distracted. And those hours distracted are time that you're taking away from yourself. And I'm not telling you to it's not okay to take some time for yourself and read or do whatever. I do too. That's one of the greatest joys in life, is just enjoying life. Life is supposed to be fun. But in order for us to have more fun and to get to that next step, it's also important for us to take that reflection time and to allow ourselves to be alone with our thoughts. And being alone with our thoughts, especially if you're not comfortable with them, can be really scary and frustrating because you don't know what you're going to find. There's that fear of what's the unknown, the fear of change. What happens if I change myself and the people that I love don't change with me? Or what happens if I change and become that person that I want and the people don't come with me, or it doesn't work out the way I wanted, or whatever it is? It's important for you to really take that time to start going deep and start getting to know yourself, because guys, I'm going to say it over and over again. You came into this world alone and you're going to leave this world alone. And the true wealth is really the friendships and the people that we have in our lives, but also we have to have a relationship with ourselves, because how can you contribute to others if you can't take care of the person looking back at you in the mirror? If you want people to honor you, how can you expect other people to honor you if you yourself can't look in the mirror and say, hey, I love you, you're amazing? If you can't do those things, and I know it's scary because I've done it, I've been there. So really embracing change is one of the most critical steps that we can take in creating our lives and making what we want to happen. So step by step, when you feel that moment or that fear approaching, you can take a second to evaluate the situation. I mean, sometimes you have a fight or flight moment and there's, like we have natural instincts. And if you're in a real fear situation where you need to run, I mean, obviously you don't be like, Sharon said to take a moment to reflect. Please God, no, don't do that. Follow your instincts. But if you're having a moment where you're really being confronted with a fear, and it's quite obvious that it's not a life or death situation, but you're feeling all those panic emotions come up for you and you're feeling it all, allow yourself to get curious. Or if you're not able to get curious in that moment, take the time the next day or in the evening, whenever you take that time to reflect, and go over what happened. Get curious. Don't ask yourself why questions. Ask yourself, what about that moment? Like caused me to feel that way? Where did those emotions come from? Allow yourself to get curious about all these things that are happening, because I'm telling you, life is happening for us, and these things are coming up for you because it's an opportunity for you to release them and let them go somewhere else. And don't worry, there's more things buried underneath for you to deal with. So just deal with one and then deal with the next. But allow yourself to be free. And part of allowing yourself to be free is honoring change. And change can be scary because it's unknown. You don't know what'll happen and what will come out of it, but you can't predict everything in this life. And somebody said something that was extremely empowering to me recently. They said, everything happens in a moment, and moments change our lives. And you could say for good or the bad, but like we have really great moments and we have really painful moments. Either way, those moments have really powerful impacts. And a lot of the time, we can't anticipate those moments. So if you are afraid to change, realize that you're not in control of changes because life is constantly changing. The weather is changing, the seasons change. It's going to be fall before you know it, and you can't do anything about it unless you switch equators. But either way, you're going to have to make a change and get on a plane and go somewhere and not do the same thing that you were doing yesterday and today, because that's just how life is, and we need to be able to embrace change. And taking control of your life means allowing yourself to be loving with yourself, to honor the fact that yes, you have fears, you're a human being, but if you're not willing to embrace your fears and acknowledge them and get to know you, you're not going to be able to create that life that you so desire. And I know and believe that you can create that life that you desire. And, we have other tools like my Inspired Attorney Assessment, which is amazing on getting to know yourself, because sometimes we think we know ourselves and then we do an assessment tool and we're like, oh, I never even realized, or things start coming up for you that you didn't realize, because we live in contrast. We know what we don't like, but based on what we do like. And so we can also acknowledge what we're not afraid of, what we're afraid of through what we're not afraid of. So this was just a quick, we do these inspired insights super, super quick. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I am here. I am your resource. I am wishing you guys the most incredible, beautiful week ahead. And just do this for me. One thing that came up for you during this live, because I know you listened to the whole thing, and one of those fears that came up for you, take a moment to get curious. However you do it when you're sitting down in the quiet, write it out about a fear that you had recently where you felt that emotional response and what happened for you. Allow yourself to feel those emotions when they're coming up. Honor those emotions because they are happening for you, and allow yourself to also get curious about what thoughts came up for you in that moment, because the thoughts just spawn out of the emotions. It's just that natural cycle. And allow yourself step by step to work through these. And soon enough, you'll be confronted with these moments again, and you'll be able to nail it because you'll understand what's happening beneath the surface. And in order to embrace that greatest life that you want to live, you need to make a change. So, are you ready? That's it for me, guys. I hope you have an incredible, incredible week. I'm here. I'm your resource, sending lots of inspired insights your way, lots of energy so that you get everything that you want done, and know that you deserve to live your most inspired, happy life. This life is meant to be fun. We're meant to pursue our joy. And if every day is the same as the last, or if every day feels like it's the same as the last, then it's time to make a change, and it's time to embrace those fears. I'll talk to you guys on the next one.